This is Zelkova serrata, Sawleaf Zelkova, some call it Japanese Zelkova. It's a large shade tree, deciduous tree, and has great fall color ranging from kind of yellowy orange to deep red. And as you can see, this is a nice mature one. This is 40 to 50 feet tall and wide. It's in a park near my home in Northern California. And water needs. This likes semi-regular water, although it is drought tolerant. We're in the midst of our worst drought ever right now, and this one's doing fine. That said, it's cheating from that nearby lawn, so not the best example of drought, but nonetheless, we have very little deep water left in the ground after 4 years of drought here, and this one's doing just fine. So it's a big tree. They can reach 70 to 90 feet, but more standard size is kind of what you're looking at. This is probably a 30-year-old tree here. And well, I'm going to jump into the foliage. So the foliage is kind of a sawtooth leaf that's 2 to 3 inches long, and you can see the newer growth here. This picture is being taken in late April in 2015. And then here's a great look at this branching structure. You see this nice vase shape, and this is one of my favorite aspects of the tree is that shape. So it's got a nice upright vase shape and then a rounded head on top. So also you can see the bark here. It's fairly smooth, although it does have a unique texture to it. But this is one of the things I wanted to call attention to. That sidewalk has been redone 3 times in 15 years, and it's about 12 inches higher now than the soil around it. Now that said, the roots found the lawn water when they were young, and then they just keep tapping into that, so the root gets bigger and bigger. If you're going to establish these and want them to be drought tolerant, then you're going to want to use a deep root barrier or put them in a situation where they're not able to tap into shallow irrigation from spray, whether that's from shrub, ground cover, or lawn. These are really well suited for parks, though. I will say they're quite large, not really appropriate for most residential uses. And what else can I tell you? So beautiful tree for large areas. Just make sure you give it the room that it needs to do what it's going to do, but very statuesque. And if you want a specimen tree, I think this is a nice use for that. But again, 40 to 50 feet tall and wide, so it's a lot of tree for for situations. But I do like that it gives you space under the canopy if you want to use that as a shade tree, especially in a big lawn area. And that's what I can tell you about Zelkova serrata. Large deciduous tree from Eastern Asia, and hardy down to about minus 15 degrees Fahrenheit, by the way. It's zone 3 in California. This is also tolerant of low humidity. In our area during the summer, it's below 20% humidity much of the time, and these handle that just fine. Also tolerant of higher pHs up to 7.5 of soil and soil types. We have rocky clay here, and it handles that just fine. Also, this is in the elm family, and it is susceptible but rarely succumbs to Dutch elm disease. So this is if you're after the elm effect but don't want to risk Dutch elm disease, these are a nice tree to use instead, and I've rarely seen these affected by that, so also good to know on that. And that's what I can tell you about Zelkova serrata, Sawleaf Zelkova. Enjoy.